reporter is right up front. You can clearly see. Right, so we've got Representative Reyes, Representative Hayes, Mayor O'Leary, then Commissioner Bruno, Commissioner Quiros, Commissioner Perez, and we're ready to go. All right, and then a man named Lamont. All right, let's go.
Buenos dias. Good morning. Welcome to the kickoff for the Hispanic Heritage Month in the state of Connecticut. What an honor and privilege to be here in the 75th District and in the great state of Connecticut, where many Hispanic families have come and made a great life here, immigrations and migrants alike, here in this great state of Connecticut. It is my privilege and honor to be here, not only representing the 75th District, but also the Connecticut Black and Puerto Rican Caucus, which I happen to be the chair of. And it's my honor and privilege to not only welcome everybody here to this beautiful restaurant, Mojo's Restaurant, which is one of my favorites, but also to experience the culture and the life here of what immigrants have gone through and what Hispanics have gone through here in this great city of Waterbury. Waterbury is a very diverse city, one of the most diverse in the state of Connecticut. We have the great distinct honor of having the Honorable Mayor O'Leary with us, who is the leader of the city of Waterbury, who's done a fantastic job of being inclusive with everybody here in the city of Waterbury. And that's why I am so proud to be here kicking off the Hispanic Heritage Month, not only for myself, but everybody that represents the elected officials here in the city of Waterbury. I am Puerto Rican. I am very, very proud of that. And our family was raised here. And Waterbury has been home for over 50 years for me. It is absolutely one of the greatest cities here in the state of Connecticut. I'm proud to be here. And I will not take too much time, but I'm happy to be here with all these great elected officials, the commissioners, the governor, the mayor, and all our friends that are here today. The important thing is understanding the multicultural diversity that we have here in the city of Waterbury, understanding that Connecticut is changing. The population of the Hispanics grew by 30% decade over decade. So the Census 2020 is telling us that the Hispanics have grown by 30%. And we're seeing it here in Waterbury in real estate and economics. And I could not be prouder to welcome all these great folks here to the city of Waterbury. It is my honor and privilege to represent the Congresswoman from the 5th District, Congresswoman Johanna Hayes.
Thank you, Representative Reyes, and I'm so excited to be here today to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month. One of the things that I am most proud of, not only in the city of Waterbury, but in Connecticut, is the richness of our diversity. And I think what we've tried to do, or at least what I've tried to do, is legislate in a way that everybody feels included, they feel heard, they feel seen. And I think we've done a really good job of doing that. So again, this is just another opportunity for us to come together and just celebrate all the cultures that exist in our community, that coexist, all the people who live together, all the people who we can learn from and bring value to the work that we do. And it's great to be doing it here, a restaurant that basically was shut down for the last 8 months, to be able to say we are open, we are back in business, we are returning to work, and the community is coming together to support you. So thank you to I don't know where she is. So there you are. Her parents are in DR, so she's here holding down the fort for them today. But thank you for having us here and for sharing your culture and helping us to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you.
Thank you. And now it gives me great pleasure to present the Honorable Mayor of the great city of Waterbury, Mayor O'Leary, my friend.
Thank you. Wow, what a great crowd. Thank you all for being here. A special thanks always to Governor Lamont for his very frequent visits here to the city of Waterbury. It means so much to all of us, especially the residents of the city of Waterbury, to see the governor and the lieutenant governor here so often. And we're honored each and every time the governor comes to visit with us. I got a couple things I want to talk about, and I'll keep it kind of quick because it's a long program. But, you know, as you all know, National Hispanic Heritage Month is observed from September 15th to October 15th by celebrating history's, cultures, and contributions of citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, Central, and South America. The observation actually started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week, under President Lyndon Johnson, and then was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover the 30-day period. When I came into, you know, I've been here my whole life. I'm in my 42nd year with the city gov.
Getting the hang of it?
I'm just starting to figure it out. When I came here in 1980, I'm born and raised here, when I went on the Waterbury Police Department in 1980, and I look at the city as it was in 1980, and I look at the city as it is in 2021, it's just amazing the number of Hispanic people who have chosen Waterbury as their home. When I came into office in 2011, interestingly enough, there was very little minority representation on any city board or commission. There was no minority representation employed in the mayor's office. And, you know, we tried to immediately address those issues. Today, I'm so proud to say that half of the 10 Democrats on the Board of Aldermen are minorities. 3 of those 5 are Hispanics, and we're very pleased and proud and honored. And we had a primary last night, and all of our candidates prevailed. Yes. But, you know, we've done amazing things also in the Department of Education. And had it not be for such a teacher shortage, we would have many more Hispanic, African American, minority teachers. The problem is there's such a demand for those teachers in the city. But we've also increased the number of police officers, tenfold minority police officers, particularly Hispanic police officers. So I'm really proud of what the city of Waterbury has done over the last 10 years to make sure that our Hispanic community and all of our minority community feel as though they are a part of our city. Not only in the police department, in the fire department. I think we just hired 20 firefighters, half of them were minorities. So we're extraordinarily proud of those accomplishments, and here to celebrate with you here today. And once again, just honored to have all of our commissioners with us and our dear friend, Governor Lamont. Thank you.
We're going to take a moment to have a few words from our 3 Hispanic commissioners in the state of Connecticut, and we'll go in the order of the Commissioner of Housing, Cela Mosquero Bruno. You're up, madam.
Good morning, buenos dias a todos. It is my honor to celebrate with you the beginning of the Hispanic Heritage Month, Nuestra Herencia Latina. I grew up with Grandma and my 3 younger brothers. I came to this country from Ecuador when I was 23 years old, and my daughter was 2. I worked in a factory making $5.75 an hour. And since I couldn't do that type of work, it was too hard working in a factory, I went back to school, taking ESL, getting an associate's and a bachelor's, a master's, and I ended up in a fellowship program at Harvard University. The only way I was able to do that was because Grandma, Mamita, for those Latinos, instilled in me a strong work ethics. She always encouraged us to pursue education. For her, education was the key to get out of poverty. Today, thanks to Governor Lamont, I think I'm the first Latina commissioner heading a state agency. So for those young Latinas and Latinos, everything is possible. Keeping our values, not forgetting where we come from, and celebrating every day with our music, our food, our family, and more importantly, to have a sense of humor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. My honor and privilege to represent the Commissioner of Corrections, who's had a very difficult year managing through the pandemics and a correction system here in the state of Connecticut, my friend Angel Quiros, Commissioner Quiros.
Good morning. I'm proud and humbled to be standing here So thank you, Governor Lamont. Thank you, Mayor O'Leary, our elected officials. Thank you, Representative Reyes, for this opportunity to be here. I grew up in Hartford on Park Street. My parents owned a grocery store, a bodega, growing up. So I know the struggle that and the hard work that goes into restaurants and this industries. But I also had the opportunity to have a front row seat on seeing poverty, seeing hunger, seeing violence. And recently, the governor gave me a great opportunity to become the first Hispanic commissioner of the Department of Correction, the first Latino, Puerto Rican American. So I'm very proud of that. But with that comes a big responsibility. Comes a big responsibility of the individuals that are under my supervision, that 70% are people of color, to make sure that the programs that we have are programs that are going to help reduce the recidivism and not come back and make them productive citizens in our state of Connecticut. So it's a huge responsibility, and I am so proud of my parents. My parents worked so hard to provide me with the avenues, the support system, the guidance, to go into college and be the first one in my family to go to college. And they will be watching tonight to see their son talk in front of the cameras because they're so proud. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Growing up Park Street was not easy. Right next to the Capitol, a mile away from the Capitol. How ironic now going up to the Capitol to interview with the governor for this commissioner's job. I never thought as a little kid that I would be in these shoes. And I want to, there was a huge outpour from the Latino community when I got appointed to the commissioner. There's one individual here today that within 12 hours on June 12th, when the announcement came out, when I was the interim commissioner, Representative Reyes reached out to me, embraced me, had me come down to Waterbury, and he has been a great support, guidance, a friend, and an individual that has gained a spot in my heart because he's very involved with this community. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Commissioner Quiros, for those kind words. And one thing that us Latinos, Hispanics have learned in the great United States of America is follow the money. And on that note, it's my honor and privilege to present the Commissioner of Banking, my friend Jorge Perez.
That's a different introduction. Good morning, and thank you all for being here with us today to celebrate part of what makes the state the wonderful state that it is, to work, live, and raise a family. Connecticut is a great state in my opinion because of its diversity, and it's because of how it welcomes people. I was born in Cuba, came to America when I was 8.5 years old. We spent about 5 years in New York, we don't have to talk about that. But the last 42, 43 years, I've been a resident of Connecticut, in particular, most of it in New Haven, more recently in Cheshire. And I can tell you that my family always been felt welcome. This is a great state. And what I'd like to ask today is to join the governor and my colleagues in not only talking about the importance of diversity and the importance of the different heritage that makes the state great, but to make it possible that every day we can celebrate that by making sure that everybody that needs help gets the help that they need, making sure that capital is available to restaurants and other businesses, making sure that jobs are available to everyone based on their merits and not the color of their skin or where they came from. This is a great state, and it's not changing, in my opinion, with all due respect. It's changed, and it's only going to change even more. We are the majority minority group in Connecticut, and we're only growing even more. So if the state is going to continue to be the great state that it's always been, we need to acknowledge that, and we need to do what we need to do to make sure that everybody gets a fair share of that pie. Thank you, Governor Lamont, for everything you do, not only speaking about diversity, not only making the right appointments, but also supporting the different initiatives that we come out with to make it happen. Thank you.
It is my pleasure and privilege on behalf of Mayor O'Leary to welcome the great governor of the state of Connecticut, my friend Ned Lamont.
Hey, thank you, Jerry, and hey, Mayor, I love getting back to Waterbury every chance I can. Most amazing city, and as you said, one of the things that makes it so amazing is our embrace of diversity. People are welcomed here in this state, and people are welcomed right here in the city of Waterbury. Jerry Reyes was just telling me about the booming real estate market here. I think you said somebody from Central America, where are you? South America, the Caribbean have all moved in as your neighbors just in the last number of months. And for that, we are so, so appreciative. I think you've heard from some of our amazing commissioners. George Perez, not only does he have extraordinary expertise when it comes to keeping an eye on the banking community, he also remembers our restaurants like this, restaurants that need support, restaurants who want to make sure the banks step up and do what they got to do to help our small businesses. And if you've never been to Moho, right here in Waterbury, you've got to do it right now. This is best. Have you ever had Dominican food? It is really good. And Angel, I love your story, and you're stepping up and you're keeping our city safe. You're keeping our state safe. You're doing it with humanity and understanding for people that are in need. Hopefully they get back on track to keep us safe. And Selah, what you're able to do in terms of housing, make sure that nobody's left behind. You know, housing is more than a roof over your head. Housing is a home. Housing is allows you to get a start in life. And that's what Selah's doing, and we're making a big commitment there. And, I just end with where Johanna started, which was education. We've got some amazing commissioners, and I want more of you thinking about public service, ways you can participate. I'm looking for judges and those in the legal system. I need more folks of Hispanic background there. And as Johanna said, teachers. I want to make sure that every kid looks up and they see somebody at the front of the classroom that, says, hey, I can do that too. And that's somebody that I can identify with. And, as Selah said, it's always important to remember, where you're from in life. And we're all proud Americans, but one of the things we want to do with education is make sure people are proud of where they came from and are proud of their heritage. And that's what we're trying to teach in our schools. And that doesn't take away from the fact that now we're all proud Americans. But that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we try and do here in Waterbury. That's what we try and do in this restaurant. And that's what we're trying to do with this month, Hispanic Heritage Month. Remember the amazing diversity that makes this state special and this country special. And thank you all for being here.
I think at this point, we'll take questions. Governor Lamont will take questions.
Matt Lesser will take one.
Matt. Senator Lesser will take them.
Well, we're celebrating the Heritage Month here and this increase in population, but yet when you look at some of the statistics that I've had while you guys were talking, Hispanics have the highest percentage in living below the poverty rate. When you look at COVID vaccinations, there's a significant gap between whites still and Hispanics and blacks. What are you doing to address these disparities?
You want to start with that?
Yep. Thank you, Governor. Thank you for that question. So the Black and Puerto Rican Caucus has been all over that topic, and we have worked very closely with Commissioner Gifford. We clearly see the disparity. It was pretty evident in when it first started out with the COVID-19 testing and how it matriculated out into actual vaccines. And I have to tell you that in Waterbury, we were one of the better prepared cities and actually kicked into action much faster than any other large municipality in the state of Connecticut. But that said, there's no question in what you're saying. There absolutely have been a gap in the disparity, especially from the haves and the have-nots. It's pretty clear by the numbers.
Yeah, I was here a couple of weeks ago. We had a vaccination clinic next to a Hispanic grocery store. One of the things I kept hearing was a lot of folks here from home, their home country, and they create a lot of bad impressions and misinformation about vaccines. So something we've really worked hard to do is make sure we have trusted advocates there. We provided free access for testing, then free access for vaccines, no questions asked. In fact, we provided a small stipend to help you get going on your feet. Look, we're in this together, Paul, when it comes to health, and we're in this together as a state, and that means nobody left behind. And I got to tell you, we've had extraordinary support from our federal partners when it comes to education and opportunity. We had the biggest increase in education support I think this state has ever seen, thanks to Johanna Hayes and our congressional delegation. What that means is we had free summer camps. That means we have amazing wraparound services. That means we have counseling. That means we have bilingual education. That means everybody has that opportunity at the starting line of life. And that's a hallmark of what we're going to do over the last few years and what we're going to do going forward. But Johanna, would you like to add to that?
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. All I would say is that, again, representation matters. From a federal level, we have been very intentional about exactly what you're saying. And I think because of the diversity of the people at the table, we ask these questions on the front end. At the beginning of the pandemic, using the data that I'm sure that you just pulled up, I was one of the first people to introduce a resolution that racism is a public health crisis. And that wasn't based on emotion, it was based on the data that said that communities of color, minority communities, are dying disproportionately as a result of the virus. That communities of color did not have the same access to primary care. We made unprecedented investments in community health centers and really tried to address those communities most in need. After we passed the first CARES Act, we went back to see that very small businesses, minority business owners, women business owners had been left out of the funding, and we rewrote the legislation to make sure that there were set-asides for those groups. So as Mayor O'Leary said, you know, it takes the people who are in these positions to be intentional and say,